All right, this month's hatching project has arrived. Got some more eggs off eBay. Let's check them out.
Egg.
All right, inside a whole mess of confetti, we've got some eggs wrapped in bubble wrap and tape. Any guesses as to what that is? All right, so we've got 6 eggs here. I was hoping we'd get one extra one or something. An extra one in case one turned out to be bad or broken, but these were some pretty expensive eggs, so I don't blame them for sending just 6 of them.
Double bear.
So we've got the eggs out and ready to go into the incubator. We're gonna go back to the Brinzy Ova Easy Advanced 100, the top of the line cabinet incubator from Brinzy. And we're not messing around because these are some Mandarin duck eggs. Mandarin ducks are exotic to, I believe, China, and they've got beautiful striking colors on their face and body. They were made famous last year from a duck that left wherever its home was and ended up in the New York City Central Park, and people were stopping, taking pictures, and just thought it was the coolest thing. So we're really excited to hatch out some pretty cool ducks here. We actually had to pre-order these eggs back in January, and it's now April. So these guys only lay for a really small portion of the year, so I'm really excited that we got some of these eggs, and we'll see if any of these 6 hatch. So I'm gonna let them settle, and then we'll get them put into the incubator. All right, the incubator's had a chance to sit for about 8 hours or so. We're gonna incubate the eggs at 99.5 degrees and at 55% humidity. All right, we are now on day 10, which from day 10 to 25, we're gonna start cooling down these eggs. So I'm gonna bring them out of the incubator, and one at a time, I'm gonna bring the temperature down to room temperature, and then I'm also going to spray them with some water just so they can get some added humidity. This simulates what a duck would do when they get off the eggs every day to go eat and drink, and then they come back and they usually get wet. They add some moisture to the eggs. All right, it's been about 24 hours since the eggs started pipping, and we've got 5 out of the 6 eggs have all pipped, and the 6th one has been moving around, so it's still alive too. So I'd be really excited to get 6 of these ducks to hatch. Would be amazing. Haven't seen any good development. I was starting to get nervous today, but I'm seeing a 2nd pip. I was starting to think that I might need to get involved, but seeing the 2nd pip lets me know they're still moving around. They're still working their way around the shell. So for now, we just need to watch and wait. What do you guys got there?
A duck. A duck. Baby ducks.
You're quick, huh?
Now it's ready to jump.
You know what kind of ducks these are?
No.
These are Mandarin ducks. You know what's special about Mandarin ducks?
They only are little. You know,
They're smaller, yes. They're very beautiful. The males get a very beautiful design on them. They can fly. Okay, set one down in there. We gotta watch them, make sure they don't hop out of this thing.
Yeah, somebody trying to bounce out.
All right, we hatched out our Mandarin ducks, and we were so excited to hatch out all 6 of our Mandarin duck eggs. And I was so relieved because I made a big mistake in the middle. One of the days Becky was out here mowing, and I got distracted and left the eggs out for about 7 hours. And I was really nervous that they weren't gonna hatch because of that, and was already starting to think of where else can I get some eggs in case they don't hatch out, because they only lay once a year. So to give you a few facts about the oh gosh, they are really fast. They have really strong legs, and they keep jumping out of our hands as we hold them. They are from East Asia, so there's some in China, in Russia, and there's actually the biggest population of them in Japan. They're only wild in the US in a few parts where people had let them escape. And that's one of the things that we've got to deal with here, because these guys are gonna fly. You either have to, one, keep them in complete captivity where they can't fly. You've got to clip their wings where they still may be able to fly a little bit, and it's gonna grow back from time to time, or you've got to pinion their wings where you completely take off the wing when they're really little, and then they can't fly at all. And we've already discussed it, and what do we want to do?
And we decided that we were just going to keep them in captivity, or just clip their wings when they get a little bit older, because we might move to a place where they can have a pond and they can fly around, and that way they can get away from predators a little bit better.
So Mandarin ducks, one of the identifying features of these ducklings are those 2 lines that go to the eye. And that line right there, it goes all the way to the bill if it's a mallard duck. And they are closely related to the wood duck here in the US. And so you won't be able to see the identifying characteristics of them until they get a little bit bigger. All right, hun, should we see if these guys want to swim?
Yeah, let's get them some water to swim in.
Oh.
You have to get them all in.
Somebody know of a place where your heart doesn't sink like a stone when you're naked and broken with nowhere to go. Does somebody know? Does somebody know of a place where the green isn't covered by snow? Every time that your eyes speak, it's time to let go. Does somebody know?
The ducks want to swim in the pool. Let's do it.
All right, one of the last things we need to do is go over how we take care of our ducklings, what we feed them, how we water them, and then how we give them shelter. So one of the things I need to do right now is do a little updated tray where I do some hardware cloth over some wood, and then the tray can sit in there and keep it out of the mud, because the ducks will spill out the water and they'll make a muddy mess underneath, and then that way you can just move this from one spot to another and keep the mud out of there. So let me put that together. All right, so I've got this little tray right here. So now I can take the water, sit it right on top of that, and then when the ducklings come in here and spill it over, it'll go down underneath and they won't be sitting in their own mud. So that's part number 1. Part 2 is what food do we give them? Right now we've got them over in this little mobile coop, this little tractor, and I've got some food over here. We're gonna get them out here in just a minute, let them play some more in the water. So the food, so we've got some chick starter feed in here. Most ducks will do really good with that. All chicks will do great with that. But with these ducklings, you gotta remember that they're a wild duckling. And so out in nature, they wouldn't have this grain. And so we'll of course give them that here, but they got way more excited when we gave them some grass. So we're gonna have them out on grass, and we're either gonna build up this area and make this chicken run a fun area for the ducklings to be in, or Becky suggested I build a standalone chicken tractor. Like I've got this stress-free chicken tractor that John Siskovich designed, and convert it to be a duck house. And as far as shelter, right now, while they're this size, as they're as small as they are, as long as they're getting food and grass and water and sunlight throughout the day, they're kept safe from rain and winds, cold winds. And this little house does great. We've converted it over the years. We made it a little tougher. We put some metal sheeting on the end. And it's got a door that swings up. And so that'll work until we come up with something a little bigger. It's pretty little, huh?
Yes.
You ever held a duckling so little?
Yes.
Have you?
Yes.
I don't know, these guys are pretty small.
Yeah, I'm fast.
And they're fast.
I wanna spend my life with you. I wanna grow up with you. 'Cause nobody loves you like I do. That I can promise you, oh, promise you. You make me feel so much better. Promise I'll love you always, forever. I wanna spend my life with you.
Night ducks. I'll see you in the morning. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. Put these ducks to sleep. Have a good night.